So welcome back. I'm by myself this week. Matt's away on vacation in Stone Harbor. Hopefully he's having some fun and being safe. So I'm going to talk a little bit about impulse control today, which is probably fitting because Matt's very good with his impulse control. I'm not so good. So I was kind of struck when I found my friend Matthew Kelly had a little talk recently on impulse control. And he referenced this study that Stanford researchers did in 1972. They called it the Marshmallow Experiment. And what happened is these researchers came into a room with a bunch of kids, young kids, and they gave them a treat of their own picking, either a marshmallow or a pretzel stick. And they said, we're going to give you one, and you can have it. But if you wait 15 minutes until we come back and you haven't eaten your treat, we'll give you a second treat. So the whole study was give these young people a treat that they can either eat now or they can wait 15 minutes and double the surprise, double the treat, and get 2 marshmallows or 2 pretzel sticks. It's become known as the Marshmallow Experiment, and if you want to look it up. And, there's data that says, oh, it wasn't perfect, whatever. Yeah, okay, great. We get it. We get that the experiment was eat now or wait. So think of it as impulse control, right? The need to satisfy my immediate impulses or delayed gratification. And what they found is that of the kids that demonstrated impulse control, the ones that were able to wait, they followed them throughout their lives, and they found that these kids, these people that have impulse control, that have the ability to wait, they're more independent. They have more friends. They do better in school. They're more successful professionally. They're less likely to participate in destructive behaviors. They're more confident. They have better vocabularies, and they have longer, healthier primary relationships. In short, impulse control becomes a critical component to a fulfilled, happy, joy-filled life. What is impulse control? Well, the ability to control the desire for immediate gratification or the ability to practice delayed gratification is impulse control. And oftentimes, we find that if we abstain from these activities that's driving the impulse, that activity, that desire fades. It reveals itself to be more of a want than a need. And, I think about that, and I think about and reflect on my impulse control, and it's not great, right? It's not great. And it's times of life that I think become easy for me when I'm in like cruise control mode, that my impulse control is less, where I'm more distracted, where I become more a slave to my impulses, right, than I am of that focused intentionality that allows us to practice delayed gratification. And a good friend of mine, who's probably my greatest mentor, will say oftentimes, delayed gratification is the key to a happy life. And it's like, when he first said that to me, I was like, really? It's true. When you practice delayed gratification, you build yourself up. You build up your confidence. You build up your passions, right? Your controlled passions versus becoming a slave to your passions. So I ask, is impulse control a problem for you like it sometimes is for me? And very few people around us I know are experiencing a decrease in impulse control. I think everybody's experiencing an increase in impulse control issues. And why is that? Why do we think that could be? The answer's in our pocket or in our purse. It's these phones, right? These phones have taken over our lives. And why? It's that we've become like Pavlov's dog, right? There's stimuli, there's stimuli, there's stimuli. And very few people around us are not experiencing a problem with that. Impulsivity, if we define what is impulsivity, right? It's a rapid, unplanned response to internal and external stimuli with diminished regard for the negative consequences on ourselves and others. See, I had to read that. Read it again. Impulsivity is a rapid, unplanned response to internal and external stimuli with a diminished regard for the negative consequences for ourselves and others. And it's driven the increase of impulse control is driven by these phones, by that stimuli that's given to us, and it requires us to react in some way. So an exercise, if you want to increase your impulse control, an exercise might be to ignore your phone for a little while. Like pick one time today. And if you have kids, I know it's tough. And if you have sick parents, I know it's tough because you're concerned, right? That every phone call or every text or every notification is going to be one that you need to react to. But if you're with your kids, it's an easy time to practice that, right? If you're with those that could be contacting you in an emergency, it's an easy time to practice that. But ignore it. Just, maybe one time today, ignore your phone and see how that goes. It'll start to build up our tolerance. And, this is coming from a guy, by the way, that's addicted to his phone. I'm completely addicted. And I've said before how my reliance, I look at this phone and I say, I'm just scrolling or I'm wasting time. There's no just looking for information. There's no scouring the news. I'm wasting time. It's a complete waste of time, which I think we're going to have to answer for someday. And you're going to have to answer to for yourself, because this incredible gift of time, what are you doing with it? Right? Because we could be doing so much more to bring us joy and bring others joy. So think about that. And what impact does this lack of impulse control, what does it have on our lives? What impact does it have on our personal lives? Are we really present in the conversations we're part of? Are we where our feet are? Or are we somewhere else far away in the phone? Are we present for those that love us? We've dealt with a lot of death and sickness in our family, illness in our family of late. And I know if at the end of my life, it's made me more cognizant here of what's going to happen someday. And with those who we love, who are seeing this transition in their life towards end of life times, what they're experiencing. And we had recently a dear family member, or dear friend who's like a family member, lose her mom. And what did she experience? If she would have had 15 minutes more, would she have wanted to look at her phone? At the end of my life, if they tell me, okay, Bill, you got 15 minutes, make it good. Am I going to say, oh, hey guys, do you mind leaving the room so I could look at Instagram and scroll some more reels? Or am I going to be locked in the moment and say, no, I want to hug those I love. I want to be present with those I love. I want to look in my wife's eyes. I want to look in my children's eyes and let them know that I love them and experience and feel the love they have for me. I don't get that when I look at Instagram. I don't get that when I scroll on Reels. Yet every night I waste time looking at my phone rather than looking in the eyes of those I love. What impact does that have on us professionally, right? What do I focus on throughout the day? Do I let the impulses of distraction take me away? Do I let them take me away from being focused on the stuff that matters? Do I avoid the stuff that's unhealthy or that's uncomfortable, right? Do I avoid the things like, as a salesperson, do I avoid the things we fear, rejection, people saying no, whatever it might be, right? Do I avoid those things so I don't prospect, I don't make the difficult call, I don't engage with the tough conversation with a client that can have great outcomes because I want to take the easy path? Do I let the impulses guide my behavior? I do too often, and I wonder if you do as well. So this week I challenge you, where are you spending your time? Are you managing your impulses, or do your impulses control you? And what change can we have? How much better can our fulfillment be? How much better can our experiences be if we learn to master that impulse control? So hopefully you guys have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week when I hope that chair is filled with Matt and he's safe and healthy, returning from vacation. So everybody have a great week. Take care. Be safe. God bless.